Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak and the Bag show for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, motherfuckers. Giving thanks. Jimmy the Bag here on the Loshak and the Bag show. It's Thursday, November 23rd, and I'm in a good mood. Why? Not because it's Thanksgiving. You know why I'm in a good mood, Jimmy the Bag.
Because we're cashing winners.
Yesterday, I was up 3.5 units. Jimmy the Bag yesterday was up 4.1 units. Unbelievable. Most of my winners came from NHL. I did have a down day in NBA. I got to be careful about that, but I killed NHL. What a great life it is when you have balls, Jimmy the Bag, right? Taking Vancouver, both of us did not punk out, did not bitch out. People were like, hey, man, Pittsburgh steps up when Crosby's out. Hey, man, Pittsburgh's tough at home. Hey, man, Vancouver's on a back-to-back. Hey, dude, you might want to have some lack of balls when you're thinking about that Vancouver play. But did we listen to those voices?
No, we did not.
Did we cash on the big money lines? They're very, very, very nice. Jimmy the Bag, you actually, in NHL, you only went 3 and 4, but because they were all huge underdogs, you were up like 2 units or something like that. 4 units on the day. I think you also had a winning day in NBA, right?
I did.
And your college basketball pick won. So very, very, very nicely done. Feeling good about it. All right, but crazy as always in the NBA, crazy shit, right? The Dallas money line that made your day. That cashed on the last second, right?
It did. Well, it's like you said. You get rewarded for balls.
Yes.
So I find you can get unlucky or you get rewarded.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I was very, very thankful. I mean, I had some bad luck too in the NBA.
Well, and you tempt fate by taking all of these by love. You love big dogs, so you'd have a lot of volatility there. I mean, if Dallas hadn't won, you would have just been even on the day, which is okay. But they did win. You cashed 4 units. You're up on the year. I'm up on the year. Everything's looking good. And of course, if you saw what happened with the Sacramento game, I was dead on with that one. But then it pushed in overtime, right? Unbelievable. Yeah. NBA, and then of course the Memphis-Dallas game, once again, another Dallas total that got bet way up from the opener, and then it went under. The line didn't mean shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gave 197.5. It closed at like 199.5 or 200, and it didn't mean shit. It went under easily. Not kind of easily, right?
Paulo Marquez says, be calm. Bad days will come too.
Yes, I know. Paulo Marquez. Pride goeth before the fall. Paulo Marquez, bad days will come too, probably as soon as today. That would be my guess. No,
we're hot.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're hot, we're good. I'm happy about it. Let's move on. All right, let's see what's on the agenda. I believe the first thing we're going to do is NFL, right? Because there is it's of course 3 NFL games. One of them starts in about 30 minutes. Yep. So let's move to NFL. I guess let's quickly just throw up our NFL record, which is slightly positive. You're nicely positive. I am slightly positive, 14 and 11 plus 1.5 units. Jim is 22 and 15 plus 5.5 units plus 13.8% ROI, and you've hit your last 5 best bets in a row in the bag contest, right?
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations. You don't have anything more to say about that?
Well, I don't want to tempt fate.
Right,
yes.
But
yeah, I have a best bet going on the second game today.
That's right. Okay, so let's talk about the NFL games. We're getting to it first, of course, because the first one does kick off soon. And I actually, thank you very much. Juanma coming through with the tablet. I actually did make a bunch of bets. And the bets that I made all went in my favor, which is good for my bets. Not great for the picks that I want to give here. The first bet that I made, they were all on totals. I did wind up hitting the over in the Minnesota-Detroit game pretty solidly, and I got it at 44.5 last night. It's now up to 45, 45.5, or 46. Not happy about that one, but I will make over 45 minus 120 currently at BetOnlineSportsBetting.ag in the Minnesota-Detroit game, an official pick. What do you think about that, Jimmy the Bag? I know Minnesota minus 3 at plus money is one of your big plays of the day, right?
It is one of my big plays, and I have the Vikings and Lions the Vikings and Chargers parlayed as well. Mm-hmm. I think that Case Keenum does not get respect. Mm-hmm. I know that he can put points on the board. Now, I think in the over, when you take an over with Stafford, you have to allow the first half to go by and not panic, because he really seems to turn it on in the fourth quarter. They seem to always be able to put on late points. So I think you're in a good spot.
Yeah, it's look, I mean, obviously, the first game that they played this year was super low scoring, and on any given day at any given time period, this probably has 2017 one way or the other written all over it. But Detroit really tends to go over in these Thanksgiving Day games. And again, you said Case Keenum is decent. I bet it at 44.5. It's now gotten bet up, which again doesn't mean shit, right? How many times have we seen this? These line moves don't mean shit. But I did bet at 44.5. I will give the over 45 minus 120 as an official pick. What's your take on this total? Do you think that Minnesota's defense is just too strong here? Because obviously both teams have great stars on defense, right?
They do. I'm absolutely in love with the Vikings defense. I mean, their front seven, they got 5 Pro Bowlers on D. Now, their secondary is not up to the level as their front seven. So, Stafford can find some holes. But I've really fallen for this Vikings team, and I did not expect to when Bradford went down, and I was fading Keenum at first, and so in that week 4 that you speak of, it was so long ago, and both these teams have changed quite a bit since then. But I won on that. I bet against Keenum in that low-scoring game, and I thought, oh man, these Vikings are fucked. But the guy's he's staying out of trouble. And he's finding Thielen. God, is he looking good out there? And of course, I'm concerned enough not to tail it. Yeah. But I think that your ideology and your angles are right.
A lot of people here actually kind of disagreeing with you, Jim, and the line has been headed down. It's now Detroit plus 2.5, and Detroit does tend to play very well, win and cover on these Thanksgiving Day games. Let's get to some comments. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, Jimmy the Bag. I'm seeing a lot more comments against you than in favor of you.
I couldn't give a fuck about these guys who think that Thanksgiving Day, that the Lions step up on Thanksgiving Day. I think that's just atrocious handicapping. You have this fucking on a fucking Thursday morning that's just stupid. So I couldn't give a fuck. Now I'm much more confident with the Chargers than I am with the Vikings, and I know that I know that Stafford is a quality quarterback, and when the times are the most important, he steps up. But in saying that, the Lions' record against teams over 500, absolutely atrocious. Yeah. And if people are going to hammer Thanksgiving as an option, I think that's what little kids would say.
Yeah, I mostly agree with you, Jim. I think that Thanksgiving is a factor, but that superior talent trumps it. And like, if you have two teams that are roughly evenly matched, I would make the Thanksgiving Day edge a significant factor. But I agree with it. Minnesota is scarily better than Detroit in terms of their roster and the manpower on the field. It still makes me nervous. Again, I'm going with the under. We have the opinions on the total are roughly split. Reggie, guy who's been pretty much dead on anytime he's commented. Anytime I glance at a comment from Reggie, it always winds up being dead on. He's against both of us. He likes Lions plus 2.5 and the under 45.5. I mean, I can see that. If you look at the Lions' history on Thanksgiving Day, they tend to win and cover. And the way these two teams have played this year, especially in light of the first game, it seems like the under would be a play.
What does it matter what other teams that are completely different rosters have done on a fucking holiday?
Oh, they're not completely different, right? Matt Stafford was the quarterback, and you know what I'm saying?
I truly, and I don't mean to go against you here, but I couldn't care less what the Thanksgiving Day records are.
Okay, all right. Jim not feeling it for Thanksgiving. All right, Jim not feeling the Thanksgiving Day record as a factor here. Jim loving Minnesota. He took him at -3 plus 106. That was his official play in this in these videos. I'm on the over 45 minus 120. Not happy to see that Reggie disagrees with that. A few other people like it. Adam Lastman says the Lion games goes over. Kai Sackle says Keenum is due for a bad game. Armin Hinjosa says on the over 2 at 45.5, although I like that one a lot less than the 44.5 I got or the 45 minus 120 that I'm given. Kai Sackle says Lions and under. There you go. And a second opinion, liking both the Lions and under, going against both of us. McCoates 80 says, sorry, Lions win on Thanksgiving. Looking at the Thanksgiving Day factor for McCoates 80. Dom Ricci with a legit handicapping factor says, I think Sunday took more out of Minnie than the Lions. Okay. Let's see.
Jag the Capper is $500 on the Vikings.
Yes. Jag the Capper says Vikings have a way better offensive and defensive line. That's true. No way Lions win or cover here. Dom Ricci says I'm having a change of heart going with the Lions. All right, so this is a tough game. Obviously, you can make a strong case both ways. Here we go. Just a Joe. Comment of the day. Comment of the hour. Management take note. Loshak needs a director of operations title. Jim, most interesting man in the world title. Management take note. Yes, I love it. You see, I tell.
Look at this, Reggie. I'm off both. Fuck that.
Really?
I'm going to stay away.
Oh shit! Okay. Yeah, listen. I mean, okay, that's good to hear because when Reggie's strong on something, that makes me nervous.
Definitely.
Listen, it could go either way. Obviously, the first game was super low scoring. Obviously, Minnesota has a vicious defense, and Detroit has a great secondary too. So the cases for the under can easily be made, and obviously the line move. Well, the line move. Obviously, I like the over way less at 46 than where I bet it at 44.5. But I bet it at 44.5. 45 is still available, so I am going to give it. And I assume you're not pulling your pick on Minnesota. No way.
No,
right?
I feel great about it. And Jonathan Nelson just said the Lions just signed Dwight Freeney. Come on now.
Yeah.
How weak are you that you're... I mean, look at this. This Vikings team cut Alex Boone. Their offensive line was so strong that they cut Alex Boone. This is a complete package football team. A complete package that when they get home games in the NFC playoffs, they're going to be very tough to beat. My man Michael Urvalina loves the Vikings.
Kai Sackle with an interesting comment here. SBR admins, Loshak and the bag needs a raise. SBR admins, please take note. Thank you very much. No, I got my decade raise recently, so I have to wait another 10 years for my next raise. But yeah.
What about the production staff?
Hey, the production staff. Listen. It's 2017, all right? It's every motherfucking man for himself right now. It's a tough world. We got global warming. We got fucking elites. We got 1% owning everything. When you're down in the trenches like us, down in the gutter, it's every fucking man for himself. I'm getting whatever I can get, betting whatever I can bet, getting whatever extra money I can get from betting, and that's it. Right?
Yeah, I got 2 empty bottles of Jameson here too, man.
When we got a world filled with peace, that's when I'll start worrying about other people. All right? As of right now, I worry about numero uno. All right? Okay. No, I'm just kidding around. Obviously, everyone needs a raise. The production staff needs a raise. Give a production staff a raise, damn it, on Thanksgiving. I'll tell you one thing on Thanksgiving, thankful for on this Thanksgiving, the production and the graphics crew at SBR, right?
Yeah, stepping it up.
Do a great job. Sophia, right?
Yeah.
Wanma. Everyone. All right, let's see. Okay, hold on 1 second. And let's see. Larry, sorry, didn't mean to. Now that I mentioned one name, I got to mention them all, right?
Well, they're wonderful.
Yes. And
Larry,
and who's the what the hell is her name? She has one of those unusual names. So the one with the unusual name, I can't.
I always say it wrong. Juan, what is it?
Ciani,
right?
Yeah,
Ciani.
I always say
Ciani
instead of Ciani.
I'm like,
Ciani.
People are like, what's her name? I'm like, I don't remember. It's weird though. It's a weird name.
Ariana.
Okay, getting back. Yeah, they really do a great job, and they definitely all deserve a raise. Okay, let's go back to it. Let's get back on it. It is Thanksgiving though, so we have to take a little bit of time to thank all the people who make all this show work and great. All right, Triple Beams 3 says, shout out to the production crew. All right, shall we move on? Look, I'm on the over. You can make a strong case for the under. Jim's on Minnesota. You can make a strong case for Detroit. But we're going to move on. We're sticking with it, right?
Yep.
Okay, next game, Dallas and Chargers. This is another one that I bet Jimmy the Bag, and this one might surprise you a little bit. And the market has moved in my favor, which again doesn't mean shit, right? I did bet the under in this game. I bet the under in this game. Dallas is getting back their starting lineman, who also has a weird name. I can't remember his name.
Tyron Smith.
Tyron Smith. That's a boost for Dallas. My sense is here that Dallas, they haven't been scoring well. They're a salty team, and I think that might show. They know Lee's out, right? I think that might show up more on defense than we're expecting. We know what the Chargers do defensively, what they can do. I did bet this one, and I got 47.5, and I was thinking that that might be a bad number. It's now down to 46.5 or 47 market wide. Since I bet it, I will give it. It's still 47 at BetDSI, and I will give the under at 47 minus 110 in the Chargers-Dallas game. What do you think about that one? Jimmy the Bag.
I think that's a good spot. I think that's a good spot. Tim Reichert has just come in on the forum saying Thanksgiving Day trends are as much a factor as evil curses.
All right. Well, I definitely believe in evil curses. I think evil curses are much bigger factor than Thanksgiving. Yeah, evil curses are for real, motherfucker. All right. So, yeah, listen.
I think you're right. I think that I don't think there's going to be a ton of scoring. But I just think these Cowboys are in trouble. And I know a lot of people don't. There's a lot of people on the Cowboys. But
yes.
I think what we've seen the last couple of weeks is the real Dak Prescott. This is the one that I expect to see as we move forward over the years. When he's got the best running back in the league and the best offensive line in the league, and he's got Witten and Dez to pass the ball to, how fucking easy is that? That's very, very easy. And now he doesn't have I mean, he's still got the wideouts, but he doesn't have the line. He doesn't have the best running back in the league, and he's an average or below average quarterback who only manages the game. Now he's making mistakes because he's like, oh shit, I'm doing nothing. We're not moving the ball. Now we're seeing who he really is. And you're right, Sean Lee being out is extremely devastating to this team. And is Tyron Smith 100%? Because he's going to have to go against Bosa and Ingram.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And with Lee being out, I think that Dallas is going to step it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to go back to this but again, because of Thanksgiving, I think that Dallas is going to be like, we can't have a friggin' horrible defensive performance here. And they know, the Chargers are coming in having put up 54 points. So I took the under, and actually, I did not bet the side here, and I didn't give this one in a bad contest, obviously, but in a couple of the free contests that I'm in, where you just have to pick the straight up winner, I did actually take Dallas. And part of that is also because I assume that most people will be on the Chargers. So, if a lot of those contests, it's not just about which side has the edge, but which side most people are probably going to be picking, because you want to be on the opposite side of the other. So I think Dallas has a real chance of winning this one, Jim.
It's like Cowboys fans don't have a recency bias. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's truly ridiculous that people think this Cowboys team can come up and play and then use fucking Turkey as an example why they might play well. The Chargers is my best bet of the whole week. I've got two $200 parlays, and if the Vikings don't look good, I'm going to put a big bet on the Chargers just alone. And I couldn't be more confident in this spot. Now, I know that the Chargers offense is not that strong and can't be trusted completely, and I might need to wait, just like you might have to wait with the Lions. I might have to wait for the offense to come.
Right.
But I just think the Cowboys are in trouble. And the reason why I'm getting such a good line is because of Cowboy fans everywhere, because of America's team. That's why I'm getting a good line. I got the Chargers as a pick'em in the contest.
Really? Wow.
My best bet, I got them as a fucking pick'em.
Wow. Very, very nice. Yeah, look, this is a this is a tough one. This is a tricky one. It is true that when Dallas wins a couple of blowout wins in a row, people from Dallas have the most massive recency bias you've ever seen in all of the United States of people who don't understand statistics. But you're right. They don't appear to have it here.
They don't.
It does seem to. I don't know. I mean, my sense is that I think Tyron Smith is a huge factor,
Absolutely.
And my other assumption is if he comes back. That's what I assume in the NFL, because these guys aren't just coming back, hobbled. They're coming back in. They put him back in and shoot him up with all the drugs they need to shoot him up with to make them at 100% for those 3 hours. So my assumption, and it's not always the case, especially with like quarterbacks with hamstring injuries and stuff like that. My assumption is if Smith is playing, I'm assuming he's 100%.
Yeah, I think that is a fair assumption. It would be a fair assumption if it was just a regular Sunday. But because this is such a nationally watched game, I think that would be the one time where you would rush him back, especially with the way they've looked the last 2 weeks. So that's why I'm not 100% sold that he's 100%, because this is such a big, giant game that's going to be watched by all of America.
Garrett Blaze makes an interesting point. Should we wait for late money to come in on Dallas? My assumption is that the late public money will come in on the Chargers. If any big late money comes in on Dallas, I would assume that's only I'm assuming the public's going to be all over the Chargers here.
I don't. They have, at least since in the last 6 hours, money's been coming in on the Cowboys. The Cowboys just have this huge, enormous fan base. So I think that the late money will come on the Cowboys. Now, we'll have to see where the sharp money goes, but that's what I expect.
What is this? Maxwell Smart 420 says, take that tranny shit elsewhere.
Oh, just because we had a man-woman named Eveline say, dating with hot girls, check out my profile for a link.
No. Maxwell Smart 420. The tranny shit stays, okay? I just made the call. End of conversation. The tranny shit stays. Done.
For some reason, I respect that very much.
Moving on. The tranny shit stays.
We want more tranny shit.
Decision made.
Surprise,
my call.
Surprise.
Moving on. Yes. No, I'm kidding around. Tranny shit can stay or go. I have no opinion on it either which way. All right. Okay, listen. Again, we could debate this ad nauseum. I am on the under 47 minus 110. I bet it at 47.5. I'm surprised and encouraged by the line move to the under. And Jim, I believe that in these shows we gave you -1, -120 yesterday.
Okay, you're right. Because I put in my best bet early.
You got it at pick. Look, the lines are bouncing around as of right now. This is why you need SBR odds to do your line shopping. If you want Dallas right now, there's +2 at Heritage. If you want the Chargers right now, there's -1 at a bunch of places. Best line would be at Pinnacle. For these games, line shopping matters. And when did we see that? yesterday with Phoenix, right? +6.
Yeah.
And it was 5.5 or 6. And if you got 6, you got to push. 5.5, you got a loss. These half points absolutely matter and make a difference.
Yeah.
And SBR odds, thankful for SBR odds. Free tool, makes it easy to line shop. All right, I guess we can move on. Officially in these videos, Jim is on to Chargers -1, -120. I'm on the under 47, -110. Those are both official picks. Shall we move on? Jimmy the bag.
Yeah.
All right, third game on the card is the Giants and Washington, and I bet this one as well, also on the total, and this one I believe did not move in my favor, and I actually took the total that after it moved. I also took the under on this one. I took 45. It's now 45 or 44.5, and the Giants, of course, last week it was a very low scoring game. That was partially due to the weather. Washington is a tricky situation. Despite all their injuries on offense, as long as they have Cousins in there, they're going to be able to move the ball a lot. But I'm thinking that maybe on a short week, I mean, the Giants rediscovered their defense a little bit last week, right?
I don't,
or not.
But you know what? I don't believe in it, and it is possible because their defense on paper is good and it's pretty healthy. So you know, why are they playing so terrible? Are we supposed to believe that Manning having a meeting and McAdoo having an open meeting is supposed to change things? Now, I don't think so. I think that the Chiefs are a banged up offense.
You've turned into quite the data nerd. Like anything unquantifiable, you're just throwing way out with confidence. No, a meeting doesn't matter. Show me data. Thanksgiving doesn't matter. Show me data, right, Jim?
Well, I think that this Giants team got their asses kicked by the San Francisco 49ers. And so they played with some real pride at home. Now, are we going to see that moving forward? I tend to think no. Now, definitely, I could be wrong, but they played against a banged-up Chiefs team that's clearly panicking by the Darrelle Revis pickup. So, you know what? I think the way they lost to the 49ers was clearly unacceptable. And so they stepped up for a week. If you look at this team on paper, regardless of the wide receiver injuries, they're pretty good. They have absolutely no excuse to be as bad as they are.
Well, Manning is obviously cooked. I mean, that guy's done for, right? I mean, his arm strength is declining, and when his arm strength starts to decline, then he's basically just in a free fall, right?
I think you're right.
I think Manning's the huge reason, right?
Well, you know what?
And the injuries.
I don't understand. When I look at this team on paper, I just can't figure out how they could be the second worst team in the NFL.
Right. No, they should not be. And, so Washington, so this is a tough one. Obviously, Washington very vulnerable defensively. Michael Maeda made a comment that the Giants' team total over 17.5 looks low-hanging fruitish. I don't think so. I think that my leans on this one, and I could be totally wrong, are Washington minus the points and the under.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
You do, or are you just saying that?
No, I really do. I think that Washington should be able to take care of business. They looked very, very good until the last 5 minutes of the Saints game. Their team is coming together. I thought the Thompson injury would hurt them more than it did. Obviously, Samaji's come in and played well.
Sure. Yes.
So I think you're on the right track. Now, at this point, I'm not putting an official pick on the game.
On this game at all,
yeah.
Right. Okay, my leans would definitely be to the Giants to Washington and to the under. It is headed up, and I definitely obviously like 45 a lot more than 44.5. I can understand why looking at Washington, obviously a team that can move the ball no matter who's on their injury list offensively, and a team that is vulnerable defensively no matter what. It's just that my sense is that the Giants are going to struggle offensively here, and that's going to give Washington a little bit of a break, and that the Giants are again going to have real issues with Manning at quarterback, and that their defense will have a second straight game where they improve a little bit.
Those angles all make sense to me.
All right. It's a tough one. I want to decide if I want to make this one an official pick. As of right now, I'm on the Detroit over 45 minus 120, the Dallas under 47 minus 110. Jim's on Minnesota minus 3 plus 106. That was a line from yesterday. Chargers minus 1 minus 120. That was a line from yesterday. My leans on this one would be to Washington and the under, and you're just going to stay completely off this one, right, Jim?
I am.
So there's no other games that I can have you handicap while I think about this.
There certainly is. I've got lots of Sunday games. But
that's right. Jim asked to give some picks today for the Sunday games because tomorrow's going to be a massive card. Jim has committed to covering the entire NBA and NHL slate. I have committed to covering the entire college football slate, and we'll try to cross over if we have any extra time. But okay, from the Sunday card, what would you like to discuss here and add, Jim?
I'm going to take the under, and it was 43.5 yesterday, and may have changed, but I'm taking the under in the Denver Broncos versus Oakland Raiders game. Paxton Lynch is starting, the man who couldn't beat Trevor Siemian out of training camp, and I wish all Broncos fans good luck with that. Now, the Broncos look awful, and so do the Raiders. But the Raiders are not a shit team. The way I see them playing, I just think Del Rio is a shit coach, and there are missing pieces. They're clearly missing pieces. They're missing pieces on defense, and with these missing pieces, it's pretty easy to key on Khalil Mack. It's pretty. They didn't do enough to take the pressure off of Khalil Mack, so he's getting double teamed, and teams are just their whole offensive line plan is to thwart Khalil Mack. Now, saying this, the Raiders' offenses look bad. The Denver Broncos' defense is good. I don't know if both these defenses are good, but they're definitely two above-average defenses that I think will beat up on two below-average offenses. And I like the under here. I think it's a good number. I'm even surprised that it's as high as it is.
Fair enough. 43.5 minus 105 is the best line right now. That is both at Bookmaker and Pinnacle. That is added on to Jim's official slate in the NFL. What else would you like to add, Jim?
I'm going to add the Jacksonville Jaguars -5 over the Arizona Cardinals, and I believe I can still get -5. I know that line is going in a direction that favors Jacksonville. Jacksonville's money. The Jags are a good, deep football team. They have a strong pass rush, and they're great secondary. I think they have the best two cornerbacks or quarterback team in the league. Adrian Peterson ran for 14 times last week, 14 times for 26 yards. He's an old man, and when he looks across the field, he will see a young, hungry, dominating back that may remind him of himself 10 years ago. Fournette is going to run all day. And I kind of like Gabbert. I don't think he's a terrible third-string quarterback, but I think he's just going to get eaten up alive by his old team. And if Peterson's not running the ball, then it's just such an easy team to defend against. Now, the Jaguars aren't putting up a lot of points, and Bortles does not instill confidence. But I think the Jaguars are going to beat up on the Cardinals. Okay,
it is an interesting line right now. It's split 5 or 5.5, but Pinnacle has 5 and actually slightly juiced in favor of Arizona. So we can give you at Pinnacle -5, -102 on the Jaguars.
Oh, that's great. That's much, much better than I had to get in the contest. So I put this in. I had to get my picks in before the end of the night yesterday, and I had to get -5 at -120.
I made my. I'm taking these contests a little bit less seriously because I don't want to win them because I'm not eligible and it'll just kill me. But I'm taking them half seriously. You know what my 3-unit pick was? It was on the Dallas game under 47.5 -115. I made it a 3-unit pick, Jim.
Crazy. That makes me think about that game a little more, because your best bets have been very successful in this contest.
Well, not last year. Last week I had Cleveland. That was just an unlucky loss. All right, so what else do you want to give us in NFL, Jim?
My 5th pick in the Beat the Bag contest, and I will be my 5th pick officially. And I'm going to look. There's a couple I have leans that I may decide to go with, but I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens -7 on Monday night against the Houston Texans. The Texans are a broken squad. They looked a little bit better against a trash Cardinals team last week. They lost their leader on defense, lost their leader on offense. I believe Savage is a garbage. Now, we saw how good of a coach Harbaugh is. I've not always been a fan of Harbaugh, but he impresses me. He can create a great game plan, and man, he wrote the book on how to stop Huntley, and now he's got Savage, which I think he's going to absolutely destroy. The Ravens' defense is getting stronger as the season goes on, and they are lingering around for a wild card spot. Now they get Woodhead back. We've seen how they can absolutely dominate at home, and I think Woodhead will help because this is obviously not a very good offense. But I think the Ravens will roll.
All right, so -7, -110 is a widely available line at multiple books over Houston. Is that it for you, Jim?
Those are my 5 official picks that I'm going to sit with right now.
I still have no friggin' clue what the hell I want to do with this Washington game. I guess because it's now down to 6.5 at Pinnacle, so money's clearly coming in on the Giants, which I can kind of understand. I mean, Washington is so banged up.
So Santa has a nice point here. An interesting fact: the Redskins are 3-10 against the spread in their last 13 home games as home favorites,
and probably even worse when they're as banged up as they are right now. If you could, I mean, it's just like, yeah.
Now, the question is, this Saints game, now Lattimore is hurt, and he's the key to the Saints defense. And I don't know, because on red zone first time. When did Lattimore get hurt? At what point did he get hurt? Because they can't stop. The Saints defense is weak without Lattimore,
right?
And they were clearly taking advantage of that. But in saying all that, that's a tough spot to play in, and their defense was holding the Saints for a lot of that game, which is not easy.
All right, I'll take it only because it would be if I don't take it, it counts a no balls play. And overall, going with my no balls plays has given me a whole ton of units this year. There's been a few losses, but mostly winners. I will take the under 45 at minus 110. I know Washington is still good on offense. I know that Washington is still weak on defense. I'm going to take the under 45 minus 110. So 3 totals. I'm on Detroit over 45 minus 120, Dallas under 47 minus 110, and Washington under 45 minus 110. Jim is also on Minnesota. That he gave earlier, the Chargers he gave earlier. He has also added Oakland under 43.5 minus 105, the Jags minus 5 minus 102, Baltimore minus 7 minus 110. Is there anything else you want to add from the Sunday card, Jim?
No, that's where I'm going to stand at this point.
That's where we're going to stand. All right, so we capped the hell out of NFL today. Good luck to everyone who bets it. Some interesting, handicapping situations. I don't think there's anything that's a clear slam dunk here, but hopefully we've given you some leans that have helped you in some way. Now let's move on. We are going to have just a quick little segment where we give some thanks in general, right? I asked Jim to think about what he's thankful for in the sports betting world on this holiday season, and I'll start off, right? A couple things I'm thankful for. The first thing, you know what I'm most thankful for, Jim. Comments, baby. Positive comments. Thank you so much to all the people who give comments. First of all, for the funny comments. Second of all, for the flattering comments, the positive comments. Third of all, for the informative handicapping comments. Love these comments. It's a great group of regular commenters that we have. Let's just quickly scan over the most recent comments so I can give you an example of what I am talking about. Maxwell Smart. God bless you, Jimmy. There you go. There's a perfect. That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Let's see. Other comments. Let's see other comments. Yeah, the Redskins comment as a home favorite is a great one. Let's see people talking about Taco Fall for UCF. We are going to get to that in after the college football segment. Let's see other comments here. Let's see other comments. I'm sure there are some. Here we go. Sean Patrick Lallen says, Thanksgiving morning. Thankful for this show and the daily entertainment. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Sean Patrick Lallen. I am mostly thankful of all the things in my life for the comments on this show. And people think I'm kidding. No, I'm not. That is what I live for. I live for these friggin' comments. All right, let's see. Just looking for other comments. Okay, what's up, Jimmy the Bag? All right, Jenner. Then now we're back to the tranny segment. All right. So, okay. All right. They're great comments that came early on in the. Okay. Next thing I am thankful for, and we'll get to what Jimmy. Next thing I am thankful for. In this holiday season, I am thankful for team totals, Jimmy the Bag, and I can tell you exactly why. Because team totals can combine your edges on a side and a total. If you have a small edge on a side, nothing great, nothing you want to bet, but a small edge and a small edge on a total, and you're right on both of those, you might want to bet either of those, but combined, they can imply a big edge on a team total. Also, if you think you have a big edge on a side or a total, and you turn out to be not as right as you thought you were, but a little bit right, a lot of times you can take a safer bet by just taking the team total, and your edge is going to be, if you're still right, but you have a small edge on the total, it will make up for the fact if you are not as right as you thought you were, but if you were as right as you thought you were, then the edge can be huge. So I am thankful for team totals on this 2017 Thanksgiving Day show of Jimmy the Bag and Loshak and the Bag. What do you think, Jim?
I think that's great, man.
You understand why I love team totals?
I do, and there's not every single day sitting beside you, I learn more and more and more about how to get angles and how to succeed in this business. And the two things that I've really learned that I've not taken advantage of in the past that I'm starting to a little more are team totals and first half lines. And when the Celtics Heat game was going on yesterday, God, I just had you over and over and over in my head, and I was like, I almost, like the third quarter, I had to go out and just go for a walk because I was like, did I fuck this all up because I didn't do what Loshak would have done when you believe in one team and you know the other team is so good in that last 5 minutes. And when the Celtics went on that huge run, again, I had to get up and take some deep breaths, go outside because I was like, did I fuck this up not doing it the way Loshak would have done it?
Yeah.
And so, man, I'm honored and thankful that I get to sit here and pick up these things from you.
Thank you so much. I'm thankful for that comment. Yeah, so I take a holistic approach to these handicapping bets, and as I've said, there's a lot of elements to making money in sports betting. It's not just about handicapping. You also have bet size appropriately and make your bets appropriately. You know, how much are you betting on which bet, understanding how correlation works. And I'm telling you, team totals, especially if your bankroll is on the smaller side, can be one of the best ways to bet some of these games. A lot of times, you know, there's just an obvious edge on a side or a total, and you go with that. But again, if there's a small edge on a side, small edge on a total, and you're right about both, and each one might be like a 52.5% play, the team total a lot of times can be a play with a big edge.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The main thing that in the sports gambling world that I'm thankful for, and it took some time to really think about this morning, is all of the handicappers that aren't on our forum and aren't watching this show, because the books are basically the best gambler in the world. And because of all these people who are not focused solely on how to beat them and that are just having fun, making bets, not handicapping like you guys are on this forum with us, are the reason why we can find certain edges, because they are losing and they are losing every single day. And I'm so thankful that they're out there fucking losing.
Yes.
And that gives us that tiny edge that we're trying to exploit. And by you guys joining us in the chat, giving us great stats and giving us your leans, and I truly feel this is the Loshak and Back show, but it's only going to succeed because of you guys and us working as a team and finding the best angles. So the main thing I'm thankful for are those clowns.
Yes, a great holiday reminder from Jimmy the Bag, just reminding us all to be thankful for dumbass handicappers. Absolutely, that we don't meet. We don't see them, but they're out there, and they affect the market, and they affect our payouts. All right. Okay, and one other thing that I will say that I am thankful for this holiday season, this Thanksgiving season, is the tools section on sportsbookreview.com. The tools section. Some people don't know about this. Do you know about this, Jimmy?
I did. I used it for the my Thanksgiving parlay video yesterday.
That's right. There is a tools section at sportsbookreview.com. A little bit hard to get to. If you go to SBR Picks and all the way, click on SBR Picks, then you go all the way to the right, and you'll see something called Tools, and you click on that one. There is a great selection of tools that you can use, and also descriptions of how the tools work, which will also explain to you the concepts of what the tools are used for if you're not familiar with it. So if you're not familiar with, you know, what the positives and negatives of parlays, or how Kelly works, or how arbitrage works. There's an arbitrage calculator, a Kelly calculator, a bunch of parlay calculators, and not only are they very useful, which I absolutely use, but the descriptions of how to use them and the explanations of how to use them also educate you on the concepts behind what they're all about.
Extremely helpful and so in depth. Absolutely.
So there you go. I am thankful for the tools section at sportsbookreview.com this holiday season. All right, let's move on.
There's also actually one final thing that I'm thankful for.
Really? Okay.
I am thankful for all the guys that are in MGTOW.
Oh, yes.
Because I love women
Solidarity.
more and more every single day and think about them more and more. And I hope all of you guys join MGTOW so there's more for the bag.
And more for the bag. All right. And I'm in solidarity with my MGTOW brothers. All right. So let's move on now. Let's move on to a college football. Jimmy the Bag. Hopefully that wasn't too long of an annoying segment, was it? Were people getting annoyed, being like, get back to the capping, get back to the capping?
No, not yet.
No, I mean, that was important. Look, we were joking around, but seriously, I wasn't, that was not bullshit. Team totals is a great value, and the friggin' SBR tools section of the site, you should use that. And if you don't know, how arbitrage works and how Kelly works and how parlays work, you should know. And you should go to the SBR tools section and learn how to use those tools and learn why they do what they do and why it's important. All right, so let's move on. Here we go. One more quick comment before we move on, though. Too good to be true? Comment of the day. This is the show of the future. Bang! Too good to be true. You are so right, and hopefully the right people will understand that, whoever they may be. All right, so let's move on. College football. Just one game today, the Egg Bowl. This is a tough one. I don't think I'm going to have a pick on this one. I did actually bet it at 14.5. Now I'm seeing it's down 13.5 from 14, only because I knew that line was going to get bet down. It's obviously a rivalry game. Mississippi State much better, but Ole Miss has some life to them. This is all. They've also had a self-imposed ban, so this is their last game. They're not going to play in a bowl game. It's self-imposed, so this is their Super Bowl, their bowl game or whatever. And at 14, I probably wouldn't have bet it, but at 14.5, I did jump on it. I don't quite like it enough to give it as an official pick because Starkville's a tough place to play, and I do think that Mississippi State is the better team here, and they absolutely dominated them last year. So it's a borderline play. I did bet it at 14.5. Take that for what it's worth. I'm not going to give a pick on this one, but my lean would be Ole Miss at plus 14.
That's interesting. See, I just find that Ole Miss has a problem with these quarterbacks that can run.
Yes, they do.
And so here we got a Nick Fitzgerald. He's about to break the 1,000-yard rushing plateau tonight, and I don't see how they're going to stop him. Now
they didn't stop him last year.
So I mean, my lean is on the Bulldogs, but that gives me definitely pause and makes me want to reflect on it a little more. I do think that A.J. Brown, if you can find him on one-on-one coverage, they're going to definitely take advantage of any time. But you'd be an idiot to leave A.J. Brown on one-on-one coverage. No one in their right mind would allow that to happen. So I don't see how Ole Miss is going to. Also, on the road, Ole Miss runs for an average of 90 yards less a game.
No, Mississippi State's a better team. That's not up for debate.
But you think they can't cover the 2 touchdowns?
I think they can. I just think at the percentage at 14.5, there was a slight percentage with Ole Miss. They're going to get up for this game. They do have some talent. It all depends on that quarterback. First of all, he got a little bit banged up in the Texas A&M game. I'm assuming he's 100%, but if he's not, that's a big negative. And he's been playing well, and it's a matter of how much he steps up. I was also leaning to the over. My only concern about that is just that Mississippi State, can be very run heavy, and so that can shorten the game. And Ole Miss loves to pass, so maybe Mississippi State, but I would also be leaning to the over. It's 64.5 right now. It opened at 62.5, and so those would be my leans. Ole Miss, and here we go. Put my money where my mouth is. Maybe I should. Slight lean to a side, slight lean to a total. What do you do? Jim, come on. Team totals. That's right. So the team total for Ole Miss, the over would be about 64.5, 50, 26-ish, right? Mm-hmm. So 25.5. So the Ole Miss team total over is probably my favorite bet of this one.
That's interesting. God.
And you know what? I will put my money where my mouth is. What's the? Did you have the here? Let me see. I will put my money where my mouth is. I will at the end of this show. I will check the Pinnacle and Heritage team totals for Ole Miss and whatever. It should be about 25.5, 26. Whatever the best line is for the Ole Miss team total over is going to be a pick of mine. I am going to give Ole Miss team total over.
I hear you. You've given me enough reasons to not make the Bulldogs an official pick. So
you were thinking about doing it.
I was.
I mean, I don't think it's that bad, especially at 13.5. Because look, they're the better team, and last year they rolled over Ole Miss with the same factors that are in play here. So I don't necessarily think that it's a bad play. My reason for taking Ole Miss was twofold. First of all, it's a rivalry game as a big underdog. Second of all, they don't have a bowl game, so they're going to get up for this. Third of all, they do have that young quarterback who's been very promising, right? And they do have. I think that if Ole Miss covers, it's going to be because it's a shootout,
Yeah.
So I could if the game goes under, I think it's probably because Mississippi State wins 44-7, So I'm going to take the Ole Miss team total over on this one. And I can't quote a line right now. It should be 25.5, 26. I'll find the best line at Pinnacle or Heritage at the end of this show.
Okay, I'm going to stay off of it. You've given me enough reason for pause.
All right, okay. And also tomorrow, I have committed to covering the entire college football slate of games. I'm going to do that one first, and then if I have any extra time, then I will go to NBA and NHL. But I might not, and if I don't, it'll be in good hands with Jimmy the Bag, who is currently, I believe, positive in. Are you positive in NBA still?
I am.
Okay. Yes, I will. Yeah, that's right, because you had a big day yesterday. That's right. So good hands with Jimmy the Bag tomorrow, and I will be on the college football card, going through all 15 games with fine-tooth comb, trying to find some good value. Let's quickly get to some recent comments, and then we will move on to college basketball. An interesting slate of games today. There are a few plays that I think I'm liking, nothing that I'm loving, but a few plays that I think I'm liking. Michael Maeda says, please don't talk about MGTOW anymore. I can't help it. I think MGTOW is fucking funny, dude. I just think it's funny. It's hard for me not to talk about shit. Ron Fig says, when you guys are bigger than ESPN, don't forget about us. Ron Fig, never. Why? The reason I struggle in life is because I'm super loyal, obviously.
And I love Ron Fig.
I love Ron Fig. I want to hang out with Ron Fig.
You're a great guy. Come down Costa Rica. Let's party, man. Also, thank you for all your input and help on the forum.
Didn't he say he lives in Vegas? He either lives in Vegas or California.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who lives, I think he lives in Vegas, and he's like, come to Vegas and we'll hang out. Ron Fig, never will I forget about these commenters. Although, if you change your screen name, don't blame me. You know what I mean? Like, if Lou Skunt comes back with a new screen name, My Cunt, and then it's like, why did you forget about me? I'm like, well, you used to be named Lou Skunt, and now you're named My Cunt.
You completely dropped
How am I supposed to remember? Yeah.
You completely dropped the pause.
If you change your screen name, yes, I will forget about you. But if you don't change your screen name, we will never forget about any of these people. All right, so let's see. All right, and okay, that's about it. Let's move on. Let's move on to college basketball. College basketball. Should we throw up our college basketball records? Because they are positive, Jim. They're not super positive. Let's throw up our college basketball records. I am, where am I? I am 14-11, plus 2 units, plus 7% ROI, Jim. 3-1. Very nice. See if he can maintain it. Some nice calls there, Jim. The thing with college basketball is just that there's like literally like 40 or 50 plays every card that I like equally. So I don't know which ones to give and which ones not to give. You know what I mean? I can give them all, and there's no real plays that I like more than the others enough to make me that's going to be my play. So I just kind of pick them randomly. You know?
I find this beginning of the season difficult because you like
a lot of unknowns.
Well, and look at Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee was predicted to be the 13th ranked team in the SEC.
Yeah.
And then they beat Purdue in overtime. I mean, so I would much rather trust you and our guys on the forum and Big Man than these experts they're putting out these articles, because I just.
Yeah. So early season in college basketball, the way it works is, and Big Man has shown it. His results speak for themselves. There's a lot of modest edges that you can find. Sometimes, though, because of all the unknowns, you're going to make a pick or give an opinion that's just way off, and that's par for the course because there's so many unknowns, and you're going to be on the wrong side of that. But there's a lot of sort of like small and modest edges that you really can exploit. And the important thing, like for instance, in the NFL, if you give a pick and it's just like way off, that's reason to be worried, you know. But in early college basketball season, if you give a pick, if you give like 30 picks and 3 of them or 5 of them are just way wrong, it's par for the course because there's so much uncertainty and so much unknown in the at this point in the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so here's what I was thinking about. Did you look at today's card, Jim?
I did.
All right, so here's what I was thinking about. I'll tell you what my leans. I'll tell you what I bet, and then you can tell me if you agree with it. I did bet the over in Xavier George Washington at 150. Xavier's looking like a dynamo team. This is another one where the Xavier team total over might be the way to go because I also like Xavier minus the points and the over in that game. So I bet the Xavier team total over, and I like the over in that game. Also, Arkansas, Oklahoma, 2 very high-paced teams. I like the over in that one and the first half over as well, maybe a little bit more. I did bet modestly the under in St. Joseph's and Washington State. I got it at 148. It was headed down last I checked. I don't know where it is now because we do use strict 12 o'clock Eastern time lines. I also bet the over in Rhode Island, Seton Hall. Seton Hall has a lot of offensive firepower this year, and Rhode Island is also playing an up-tempo game with a bunch of guard play, so I took a shot with the over in that one. And I also did take a shot, and this might be wrong, but I did take a shot with the unders in both the UNC and the Duke games. UNC is playing Portland, Duke is playing Portland State, and I think that Portland might be pretty good defensively, at least in this spot, and they're very high totals, understandable why. So I took small shots, not huge shots, because obviously, North Carolina and Duke can both put up 110 on anyone at any given time. But I took small shots with the UNC under and the Duke under, and I also took what else did I take? I also took a small shot with St. John's -5. St. John's looks very good this year, and I took a small shot with Northern Arizona +5 against Hampton. Not quite understanding why Hampton would be that big of a favorite over Northern Arizona unless someone's out, which is not something that I checked. The UCF game is very interesting. UCF, a very interesting team, and when they got this guy Taco Fall, this guy Taco Fall,
I know about him,
7'6", big geeky guy with glasses, and that guy is a beast. And UCF was very undervalued for a while when those guys first came in. Now the book is out on them, and their point guard is still out. Fall's coming back. Nebraska's a good team. UCF's a favorite here. So that's actually one game that I completely passed on. I know a lot of people have been discussing it. Fall is awesome. UCF is great and can be undervalued even with people knowing how good they are. But I'm passing on that game completely. I didn't make a bet on it, not even thinking about it.
Well, interesting stuff. And a lot of people are completely with you on Xavier. A lot of people are on Virginia, in the Virginia-Vanderbilt game. I've got a couple things. Vitalis, before I forget, Vitalis wanted to hear what you thought on Fullerton at +11. But before we go into that, I just was with the Seton Hall Rhode Island game I mean, I feel like we need to wait to figure out if Angel Delgado is going to play or not.
Not necessarily for the total, I think. I think that the pace, I think Rhode Island's going to have a healthy pace no matter what, and Seton Hall is going to be able to and that's actually, I think, one of the reasons why I've done so much better long-term on totals in college basketball than sides, is because totals are a lot less predicated, usually, not always, but usually a lot less affected by injuries than spreads are. So I would be leaning over whether Delgado's in or out.
Okay, I hear you. Because they're in trouble. They're in big trouble if he's out, because Andre Barry will completely dominate this game.
Yeah.
And
no, I was leaning Rhode Island as well at +4 for sure. I wasn't understanding why they were an underdog here, and I actually bet it at 4.5, I think, and it moved down to 3.5, and I was like, it was one of those things where I didn't understand the line, and I was like, oh yeah, I was right. No reason to overthink it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That all makes sense. And there's some big games. Mr. Gogster, our boy Gogster, wants to know if you've handled K-State and Arizona State.
Actually, I have only done my deep research into the games up till 7 o'clock. So what are we going to do about the games after 7 o'clock? We are doing the second show.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's Thanksgiving. Aren't they giving us the afternoon show off? No, we're doing it. We don't want the afternoon off.
No,
right?
No.
Would you rather go to some stupid fucking dinner with family or do another show at 6 o'clock?
I want to make money.
Yeah, exactly. So we will be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time. If I see anything in between now and then, I will tweet it out. And at 6 o'clock, I will break down the games after 7 o'clock. Maybe you've already looked at some of them yet, but I have only looked at the games up till 7 o'clock, Jim.
I have, and I'm going to hammer a game already, and for some reason it's not, I just can't find it on the Sports SBR page, but I'm definitely going to take Gonzaga tonight. This PK80 tourney is extremely talented and deep, man. Even in Gonzaga's bracket alone, there's number 1 Duke, number 7 Florida. I'm very curious to see what this Gonzaga team is going to be like this year. They lost 3 starters plus Zach Collins. And this team will revolve around Killian Tilly and, of course, Jonathan Williams, who was shortlisted for the Early Wooden Award list, and Corey Kispert. I'm very interested to see. He looks very good. He's a big boy, and he can shoot. They have 7, like always, the Zags have 7 guys averaging over 9.7 points. And Ohio State just desperately needs Caleb Wessam to be a monster, and that's a lot to ask from a freshman center. I'm not saying he isn't very skilled, but it's just I feel like this is too much to ask. And at this point, I think that line is really nice, but it's not here on the.
I got it. It's actually because it's a 12:30 a.m. Eastern time start. It's on. It's in the Friday game, so I'm looking at it. It's actually gotten bet down a little bit. It's now down to 5, and Pinnacle has -5, -101 for Gonzaga. Do you want that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, Jim?
No, I'm gonna these really early games like Hampton, Northern Arizona, and Portland, North Carolina. This stuff I'm gonna stay away from. Vikings just got a touchdown.
Very nice. Very good for the over and good for the Vikings play.
Yes, but the point after missed.
Oh, that's not good for the over or for the Vikings play.
But I'll take it. I'll take 6 any day. I guess
when you think things are going well, 2 seconds later, it only takes 2 seconds for things to not be going so well. That's how life works. That's why I love sports betting. It's a perfect, what's the word? Microcosm, not microcosm. I can't remember the word. All right, anyway, Jim, so you're just going to give Gonzaga -5?
I'm going to give Gonzaga -5 right now, but the whole afternoon show will be solely on college basketball, I imagine.
Yes. All right, so I got a lot of plays that I'm liking a little bit in the afternoon games. Maybe I should just give them all or most of them. The Harvard-St. Mary's game is very interesting. Harvard, of course, the preseason favorite to win the Ivy League, and St. Mary's is what they always are, just a very, very strong, tough team. Ranked around number 20, always a tough team to bet against. I would be leaning Harvard here +12, although a 70-38 win by St. Mary's would not be at all out of the question or a surprise. But I would be leaning Harvard plus the points there as well.
Yeah, David H. is with St. Mary right here.
He likes St. Mary's.
Yeah.
I mean, St. Mary's, when they're good, they blow out the preseason favorites to win, like the Ivy League and the MVC and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot. You know what? I've been studying that game too, and I'm going to stay away from it right now, but if I tweet something out, I will definitely lock you in on the tweet. My man Max, who's had a really good read on the college basketball season so far, says, follow me on UCF.
Okay, yeah. Look, UCF when they get good, UCF's kind of like a poor man's St. Mary's. They like are very at times criminally undervalued and cover their spreads by like 20 points. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be surprised if UCF wins this one by 15 and covers, or by 20 and covers by 15. All right, so
wow, really, you really because that game is going to start as soon as our show starts.
Which one?
The UCF Nebraska.
UCF Nebraska?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I'll lock in UCF.
Sure?
Yeah, by the spread. I'll lock that in because so I don't need to send that out. I've really dug Max's reads on everything, and if you're running with that as well, from what I know about UCF, that's enough for me.
Okay, -4.5, -102 is the best line right now at Pinnacle.
I'm taking it.
Is that okay for you?
Yeah.
All right. I decided I'll give most of my leans. What the hell? If they lose, they lose. What the hell? First of all, I will give Northern Arizona +5, -110 at BetDSI. Not understanding why Hampton is that big of a favorite. I'll give Northern Arizona +5, -110. I will also give St. John's -5, -117 at Pinnacle. St. John's looks like a team that is playing very well right now, and I think they should have the edge over Oregon State. The George Washington Xavier game, I will definitely give the Xavier team total over, which I don't have right now, but I will check the best line after this show, and I will give that one. Arkansas, Oklahoma, I will definitely give the over and the first half over. Let me see what the first half over is. Yeah, the first half over for that one is 77. Now, sometimes when two high-paced teams play each other, they can be unexpectedly low scoring. But I will take the first half over. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll give the first half over in the full game. I'll give both of it. The first half over is a 77 +100 at Pinnacle, which concerns me because it does appear to be taking money towards the under on that one. You know what? I'm just going to stick with the first half over for now. Because this is what I do, the holistic approach thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then depending on how the first half goes, I make a second half bet based on my handicapping combined with the first half result. But I will take the first half over 77 +100. Arkansas and Oklahoma, and then St. Joseph's, Washington State. I do like the under, and I will take that one. Let's see where the line is right now. 147.5. 147.5 -110 at Inter. Oh no, 148 -115 at BetOnline and sportsbetting.ag. So I'll throw that one on there as well. And then the Rhode Island Seton Hall game is also a very interesting one, and I will throw on the over on that one, although the Greek has a strong lean to the under. You know what? I'm going to wait on that one because that's a 6:30 Eastern time start, so we can start. I'm going to hold off on that one. So let's see, and then the Portland State Duke game. I really want to take the under, but I'll hold off on that one. What's up?
The Lions just turned the ball over.
Oh, nice. Okay, all right. Okay, so my college basketball picks that I am adding: Northern Arizona +5, St. John's -5. What else did I add here? Xavier, team total over. I'm liking both the over and the full, and Xavier minus the points, so I like the over on that one. Arkansas, Oklahoma, first half over. And what else did I take? St. Joe's, Washington State, under 148. And I believe that's it. That's all that I gave. And yeah, look, all those plays could lose. There's none of them that I think are great, but I'm hoping that I win, a half unit or a unit out of the whole lot of them. And that's it. So shall we wrap things up, Jim?
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap things up on this very special, Thanksgiving Day edition of the 12 o'clock show. Loshak and the Bag. Thanks so much for everyone for tuning in. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And the picks that we have given today officially are as follows. Jim's on. Jim added in the NFL, Oakland under 43.5, -105. The Jaguars -5, -102. Baltimore -7, -110. And in college basketball today, he's added Gonzaga -5, -101. Gonzaga -5, -101. And UCF -4.5, -102. That's it, right, Jim?
Yep.
That's right. And I have added the Detroit over 45 -120, Dallas under 47 -110, the Redskins under 45 -110. In college football, the Ole Miss team total over, and in college basketball, the Xavier team total over, Arkansas, Oklahoma first half over, Northern Arizona plus the points, St. John's -5, St. Joe's, Washington State under 148. And that's it. Those are all of our picks. We will be back with more analysis at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for all the great comments, and we'll see you at 6 o'clock.